Hello and welcome to another video, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. I wanted to do something more fun. Right now we're kind of in between video content here on the channel, and I thought it'd be fun to take some time and look at what I think are the top 5 most underrated and underappreciated games of this current console generation. These are games that, again, my personal opinion, were games that were overlooked by a lot of people that either didn't play them because A, maybe they don't own the system that these games are on, or B, just never got around to it and they got kind of shoveled under the rug, so to speak. So they're not really in any order other than the first one. That's usually how my lists work on this channel. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in with number 5.
We're good. Let's go.
Ah, shit. You were an asshole, Ted, but you didn't deserve this. I'm Connor, by the way.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm investigating the outbreak. You know anything about how it started?
I know these military assholes were guarding something super secret near the mall front entrance, but there was this journalist.
What journalist?
And she had a boy's name. Can't remember.
Vic. Where's Vic now?
She was holed up at the mall security center for a while. Might still be there.
We should head for the security center. Might be some weapons there.
Good plan. Except I'm going solo.
What?
Look, this outbreak is almost certainly some kind of test. It's probably run by these military jerk-offs. And now I need to find out why. And I'm not gonna be able to do that with some flatfoot holding my leash. No offense.
All right. I'll head into town. Look into relief efforts. You learn something. You clue me in.
Yes, I get time.
What the hell you doing? I'll see what you can do with this.
God damn, food court zombies are the worst.
I need you, Frank.
I heard you the first time!
It's a game that divided fans on the Xbox One. It divided fans of this franchise especially. I cling to the side of people that really enjoyed this game. But it is different than the other games in this franchise. That game, of course, is Dead Rising 4. Dead Rising 4 for the Xbox One. It is actually coming out very soon for the PlayStation 4 as well. So if you didn't have a chance to play this game and you didn't own an Xbox One or currently do not own an Xbox One, you're going to be able to play it on the PS4 soon. The reason the fans of this series kind of hated this game is simple. It's different than the other Dead Rising games. They kind of got away from all of the time management and hunting down different survivors and escorting them out of the mall or the area that you're in and stuff. And instead, this game focuses more on zombie killing and getting a combo meter going. Well, it also still tells a pretty good story, I think. One of the other things fans hated about this game is that they replaced the voice actor for Frank West. However, Frank West in this game is older, so to me it makes sense. If there's one negative aspect I'll say about Dead Rising 4 is that the game ends kind of shittily, and then they wanted you to buy this DLC pack to finish the actual story and they released this later. Now, if you haven't played Dead Rising 4 and you own a PS4, they're releasing a special version of this game early December 2017, and this version is going to have all that downloadable content, so you'll get the full complete package when you buy that version of the game. And for Xbox One owners, they recently just updated the game for Xbox One X enhancements, and they are also going to give away all the new content they're putting into the PS4 version into the Xbox One version of this as well. I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was a lot of fun. I personally could get over the fact that it was a different Dead Rising game. However, I would like to see them return to the Dead Rising roots for a follow-up sequel, but I still think the game's worth your time, especially if you're a Dead Rising fan and you heard a lot of the negative reception about this game. It's still worth playing.
Pilot, Major Anderson is here. Investigate this facility. I will meet you on the other side.
Don't get captured again, BT.
I will avoid all shortcuts.
Overseer requests all teams working on the ARC analysis report to the lecture hall for General Marder's presentation.
stability. If you're ready for testing, you'll forget any of these guys.
Number 4 on my list is actually a game that's a little bit more popular. However, because of when it was released, I feel like it got shoved under the rug, and because it got sandwiched between 2 really big releases last year, and this kind of led to less than stellar sales initially. However, I think the game has been on sale enough that people have discovered it later on and was critically well received. That is, of course, Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is a fantastic game, and one of the biggest things about Titanfall 2 is that they finally gave it a single-player campaign. Now, you can compare this to EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2 this year, which also was a game that was a sequel to the original game that did not have a campaign. However, the campaign in that game is utter garbage, whereas Titanfall 2's campaign is actually quite tremendous. I really like Titanfall 2 a lot. It's definitely worth your time. It has one of the craziest and most interesting and captivating single-player campaigns that I've played in a game, and I love the multiplayer from Titanfall 1. It is even better in Titanfall 2, and they run on their own dedicated servers, so you're not going to get any of that kind of lag problem. It's also important to note that Titanfall 2 is available on both Xbox One and PS4, whereas the original was an Xbox One exclusive. It is also on PC as well, but Titanfall 2, it's a fantastic game. I feel like enough people talked about it last fall critically, and then it just kind of died and nobody talked about it. Definitely check it out. It's an awesome game. It is one of the most underrated games this generation, not because it was underappreciated by critics. I just think gamers didn't cling to it the way that they probably should have, and I still maintain the fact that this game should have released in a different time of the year than a busy fall season, sandwiched between a new Battlefield game and a new Call of Duty game. That's number 4 on my list.
I'm here, baby. Please be alive.
Number 3 on my list is actually a game that's a little bit older this generation. However, it is from another franchise that I follow heavily, and I think it's underappreciated in the fact that a lot of people wrote it off because it came out after the 6th installment in this franchise, and I think a lot of people wrote it off because they were kind of tired of this franchise. That is, of course, Resident Evil Revelations 2. Now, Resident Evil Revelations 2, which I'm holding up my Xbox One copy of this game, is a fantastic follow-up to 2013's Resident Evil Revelations, or if you played it on the 3DS when it originally came out, that came out in 2012. This one's more interesting because now you play as Claire Redfield for the first time in, I think, almost 15 years. Yeah, actually, it's been almost 15 years since gamers have been able to play as Claire Redfield in a main Resident Evil game, not counting games like Umbrella Chronicles and that kind of stuff. And for the first time, I think ever, other than Mercenaries mode in Resident Evil 5, you get to play as Barry Burton in this game. It's fantastic. It has an excellent story. It's campy in all the right places. It controls incredibly well. It has kind of a hybrid of Resident Evil 4 and 5 controls. And the only caveat to Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, especially 2, is that there is no online co-op. You can play split-screen local co-op, but they did not put the ability to play online co-op. I still don't understand why they did this. I thought that was a really bad idea, but I still really enjoy this game. I think it has an excellent story. If you're a Resident Evil fan and you haven't played this game, shame on you. You should play it. You can find it pretty cheap these days. Alright, so I'm number 2 on my list. I kind of debated because I think there's been a couple excellent spin-offs in this franchise on the PlayStation 4, and I went back and forth on which one to pick. However, I'm leaning towards this one just a little bit more, simply because this game I felt has more of an impact than the other, and that is Dragon Quest Builders for PlayStation 4. Dragon Quest Builders for PlayStation 4 is freaking awesome. It is kind of a hybrid of a Dragon Quest game and Minecraft of all things. It's fun, you can build stuff, but it's also mission-based, it's also story-based. It isn't a Minecraft clone. And if you thought this game was a Minecraft clone and you bought it and you were disappointed, you should have done a little more research. It's really cool. It has an interesting story. In fact, the only one caveat I have to this game is there are 5 story chapters in this game. Once you finish the first story chapter and you go to the next world, you don't save your progress because you're going to a different world. It's my only problem with this entire game. Otherwise, it's awesome. It has all the right charm of a Dragon Quest game. The music, the graphics, it's all outstanding. It's one of the better games on PS4. Now, the other games that we're talking about in the Dragon Quest franchise that are on PS4 are the Dragon Quest Heroes games. There's 1 and 2. Those are Omega Force games, so they're kind of like Dynasty Warriors. They're cool, they're really fun games, really enjoyable, and I have a lot of fun with them, but Dragon Quest Builders edges it out for this list just by this much. I think this is a more enjoyable game. That's number 2 on my list. And finally, number 1 on my list of top underappreciated and underrated games of this console generation is one that I really truly feel is underappreciated and underrecognized throughout this entire generation, and that is the Xbox One exclusive Sunset Overdrive. This is a fantastic, incredible game that I wish more people played. It was one of my highest rated games of 2014. It is just utterly awesome to play. So basically what this game is, it's made from Insomniac Games, which are the developers of Ratchet and Clank, and some other popular stuff. Right now, these people are working on the Spider-Man PS4 games. So this game was awesome. It has this like punk attitude to it, but it also kind of feels like a spiritual successor to the Jet Grind Radio or Jet Set Future, those games. It kind of feels like that. It has almost a Tony Hawk vibe to it, but it's colorful, it's fun, it has mature humor. It is an M-rated game. No matter how much this game looks like it is a kid's game, it is super not a kid's game. The weapons are awesome in the game. The story's a lot of fun. It's just an incredible looking game. It's also a game I cross my fingers and hope they do an Xbox One X enhancement patch for it. I would love to see a Sunset Overdrive 2. I don't know if we'll ever get it because I don't think this game sold as well as Microsoft and Insomniac wanted to, but I love this game to death. It's one of my favorite games from this generation, and I think it is the most underrated and underappreciated game of this generation that nobody really talks about. So those are my top 5 most underappreciated and underrated games of this generation. I'd love to know what you guys think. What are yours? Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.